Boko Haram kills Borno village head, soldiers and civilian task force chair. 21 feared dead as two boats died in Lagos. Bauchi residents decry rising rent amidst economic hardship. And on the international scene, uncertainty in Cameroon as government denies rumored death of President Paul Biya. A very good evening and welcome to the news hour on Trust Television. My name is Sagir Ibrahim. To details now, at least 5 persons, including soldiers and a village head, have been reportedly killed when Boko Haram ambushed a military convoy in Marte local government area of Borno State on Monday. It was gathered that the ambush occurred near New Marte with an unspecified number of people wounded in the attack. According to a security source, the overall chairman of a civilian task force in Marte was among the victims. Those who were critically injured were said to have been taken to Maiduguri for medical treatment, while others with minor injuries were treated in New Marte. The source stated that the deceased had been buried according to the Islamic rite in New Marte. Reports said that barely 3 months ago, a superintendent of police and divisional police officer were killed in Marte. And earlier we spoke to Daily Trust Buu Chief in Borno, Hamisu Matazu. He gives an update on the situation.
Yes, what you have just mentioned is not far from what transferred in the area. I think the only addition is that we tried contacting the security operatives to see if they can confirm it, yet we couldn't get headway. But as everyone knows, Marte local government area is on the western coast of Lake Chad, and its headquarters is the Marte town. And it's one of the areas that have been under the control of Boko Haram insurgents. Once an area that the Boko Haram wanted to make a caliphate, but with the power of the military operation in the area, they could not have their way. But we can recall that his father, the father of the district head, when the village head, was also killed in that area. And he is the only village head that decided to stay despite all the troubles around the area. And he stayed there for a very long time, but this time around, he was killed also, just like his father.
All right.
Then, yes.
An unfortunate situation, of course, Matazu. But then, can you talk to us about the concerns in these areas, especially as there's supposed to be a renewed onslaught against, the activities of terrorists and bandits? But then here we are seeing what seems like, a renewed effort by these elements.
Yes, around this season, once it is rainy season, a lot of farmers usually go back to farm. And most times, the insurgents feel threatened by the activities of the farmers around the area because they feel that they are becoming closer to them. And with this flood, most of the insurgents were displaced from their original abode because most of the places have been taken over by the flood disaster, because in the whole area of Lake Chad is filled with water. Now, some of the areas that have been there for years without water are now recharging, so displacing most of them. So they are becoming very close to the town. That's what most of our sources told us. That they are coming out from the area now, staying very close to the people, and they have been warning farmers before they collect taxes from the farmers. Till this date, there was no any report of maybe tormenting the farmers, collecting taxes from them, but they are pushing them away. They cultivated their farmlands, and at the harvest time, they are now telling them to back out. So you can see the conflict there. The farmers are proving very difficult to be pushed away, while the insurgents are feeling that the farmers must not go near to them. So I think we are not hoping, but more of these attacks are bound to happen unless the military operatives step up operation in that area. Because the people around the area are telling us that these insurgents are very close to the towns, Martei and the general area of lled. And the military, though they are doing their operations, they are doing their best, but I believe they can do more to dislodge them from the area.
There you have it. Matazo Hamisu there, Daily Trust Buu Chief in Maiduguri, giving update on the situation. And to some other developing story, 8 out of the 9 kidnapped victims of Kenya district have been rescued and unhurt by a combined team of security operatives. According to a statement by the Kogi State Police Command, the CP Bello M. Sani, the Commissioner of Police in Kebbi, condoled with the Kogi State government, Zuru Emirate and immediate family of late district head of Kenya Al-Hajj Isa Daya, and promised the arrest of perpetrators. Acting on credible intelligence, it is the view of the determination and resilience of the combined team of policemen, military and other members of the vigilante corps that 8 victims of the kidnapping incident of 6 October 2024 at the Kenya district were successfully rescued and hurt on Tuesday, the 8th of October. And also, bandits have killed 8 personnel of the Zamfara State Community Protection Guards. The deceased were killed in an ambush. The Community Protection Guard, also known as Askarawa, is the Zamfara State security outfit established by Governor Dauda Lawal to complement the efforts of other security agencies in the state. The commander of the Community Protection Guards in the state, Brigadier General Muhammad Lawal, said on Monday that the personnel were ambushed at their checkpoint a few kilometers outskirts of Tafe town, the headquarters of Tafe local government area. He added that the personnel were deployed to the area due to the incessant abduction of travelers along the Gusau-Funtua highway, which has reduced drastically since their deployment. Despite the incident, the commander reaffirmed the state government's commitment to getting rid of security threats in the state. Also, the Ariwa Consultative Forum has said terrorism, banditry and food insecurity in the northwest and northeast, if not addressed, could wipe off the existence of northern Nigeria in the next 5 years. The group, in a press briefing in Maiduguri, further disclosed that the impact of the flood in Borno needs urgent humanitarian to the peak of insurgency that displaced millions. It observed that the northern region has been experiencing security threats, climate change, increasing number of out-of-school children, which has put the region in a dire situation that needs urgent action. The chairman of the forum, Bashir Mohammed, said there is a need for the northern governors to collaborate and synergize to tackle these problems before they get out of hand.
10 years ago, there was not a single bandit in the Northwest, for example. Today, most of the states in Northwest have got banditry situation. We are frightened of the possibilities that this can also grow in the next 5 years to 10. We do not know what can happen to our existence as Northern Nigeria until very seriously urgent actions, positive, definite actions that is going to be directed squarely to bring in these ills to an end as soon as possible. The danger will be really, really, really unimaginable.
A member of the House of Representatives has called on Nigeria security agencies to reinforce security measures by deploying additional personnel in Faskari, Kankara, Sabwa in Katsina State. This followed a motion on urgent national importance by Shehu El-Hatu on the need for security agencies to intensify efforts to rescue victims of bandit attacks in some areas of Katsina State. El-Hatu noted that in the past few months, there has not been a 48-hour period without a bandit attack in Faskari, Kankara, Sabwa, Katsina State. The lawmaker is concerned that the situation has deteriorated to the point where bandits now have the guts to provide bank account details for their victims to pay ransom.
Just 2 days later, on Sunday, 6 October 2024, the bandits targeted innocent people at Balandawa village in Paskar local government, killing 3 and kidnapping some women. The violence escalated again on Monday, 7 October 2024, when the bandits attacked the Puntua Gusau Road, killing 1 person and kidnapping unspecified number of commuters. Further concerned that the situation has deteriorated to the point where bandits now officially provide bank accounts for ransom payment to be made for kidnapped victims. This audacious act shows not only for the impunity which these criminals operate, but also raise significant concern about the security of the telecommunication and financial system in the country.
And at least 7 persons have been confirmed dead and about a dozen others hospitalized following a suspected cholera outbreak in Kanye village of Kabo local government area of Kano State. The death from the outbreak is believed to be after drinking water from a polluted open well in the area by the people. This well was said to be contaminated following heavy downpours that busted a nearby pond, which overwhelmed the well that has been the only water source for the community. It was gathered that the villagers started noticing that some people who used water from the well had fallen sick. Chief Sanitation Officer in the area, Hafiz Alibaba, who confirmed the cholera outbreak, noted that they have already directed the residents to stop using water from the suspected well. Similarly, at least 21 passengers are feared drowned in a boat accident that occurred on Monday at Imore town in the Amuo-Dofin local government area of Lagos State. The tragedy struck when 2 boats, each ferrying 16 passengers, collided and capsized in the middle of the lagoon. The spokesperson for the Lagos State Police Command, Benjamin Hundeyin, stated in a press release on Tuesday that the incident was reported to the Ilashe Police Division at about 7 p.m. According to him, emergency responders, including marine police and local divers, were swiftly mobilized to the scene and rescued 11 passengers who sustained injuries. In the meantime, other passengers remain unaccounted for, with Hundeyin confirming that efforts to recover their bodies are currently underway. He further noted that an investigation to the incident is underway as well. The federal government has issued a fresh warning to Nigeria regarding flooding in the country. A statement by the Director General, Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, Umar Ibrahim Mohammed, informed that Jeba Dam is currently spilling excess water as regulated by Kainji Dam operators, who had kept 53 cm buffer until now to allow for any change in inflow, highlighting the agency's synergy with the authorities of the dams both nationally and internationally. He maintained that NISA is committed to managing Great River flooding incidences to foster socio-economic growth in Nigeria. Mohammed also revealed that the water level in the River Niger Basin has slowly receded since the beginning of October. He called on Nigerians to continue to adhere to flood preparedness protocols, reaffirming the agency's commitment to the overall flood management in Nigeria. Until the cost of living in Nigeria. The recent economic downturn has caused the cost of house rent to increase astronomically. Our residents are struggling to keep up with payments, while many have had to move to areas they can afford. Trust TV's Adamu Imam reports from Bauchi.
Many Nigerians are grappling with lingering economic downturn, which has caused many tenants to change strategy in paying their house rent annually. House agents said the demand has reduced due to economic downturn.
The landlords, they are used to add money for their houses because of the materials. If you want to renovate your house for the tenant, so before, like if you spent 100,000 or 150, by now it's reached 300,000. So what is the cost of what they are saying is what they are spent.
Even the civil servants can calculate everything in the month. They are reducing something in the month to pay house rent. So the problem, there is many problems. The money, the salary cannot make everything in the life.
While tenants are faced with high cost of living, landlords said they are left with no choice than to increase rent. The price of building materials has gone up astronomically. So anytime we bought those materials for building houses, we always struggle to calculate profit margin, and the buyers always keep on complaining afterward, while the money is not forthcoming. That is the reason some houses remain empty longer than expected. Many landlords who claim to pensioners urge the government to introduce policies that will make it easier for Nigerians to own houses. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Also, some traders in the Efurun axis of Ube local government area of Delta State have expressed dissatisfaction with the surging cost of food items in the state. While blaming the current fuel prices hike, the traders lamented that patronage for food items have fallen due to the hardship in the country, which has affected customers' purchasing power. Trust TV's Jonathan Awanye reports.
The traders complained that buying food items had become tough as prices continue to soar, with household commodities getting out of reach for the common man. A cross-section of traders at the popular Efurun market says that cost of foodstuff and essential commodities are making life unbearable for families. The traders in separate interviews stated that the fuel hike has affected the daily runnings of their families, businesses, and other activities.
The high rate of fees are increasing daily, whereby the poor masses cannot afford it. You come to the market to buy a bag of rice and at the rate of 75,000 naira. The next time you get it at the rate of 100 and something thousand. It's unfair. So I want government to look into it by please calling the distributors in order, giving them a fixed price what to do. And if they have association of distributors, they should please talk to them.
Living in Nigeria is very hard. Transportation, nothing to talk about. Feeding, nothing to talk about. Children are in problem. Mothers, problem. Father are in problem. We are begging the government. We need a final solution. All we need is reduction of the fuel, please.
Okay. The matter wey carry me come now when I dey cry day and night. Now how we not fit dey buy things again. We go come market, we not go fit buy things again. Everything not there. Rice, garri, beans, we not fit dey buy. Even palm oil. When we dey own small money to dey buy, we not fit dey buy. Even water leaf when we go see for back of our house. Water leaf now, if you not own 1,000, you not fit buy water leaf. If you not own 500, 1,000, you not fit buy anything. So I beg government, never look into this matter. We dey die in silence every day. We dey cry. Our children, not they fit dey eat three times a day now. 3 square meal a day now. The thing now we don't tire. I beg government, we dey beg on now.
From food items to non-edible ones, the complaints remain the same. Prices are too high. They called on governments at all levels to initiate policies that would improve the lives of the people. Jonathan Awanya, Trust TV News, Asaba.
To other news now, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has stated that the federal government will not subsidize Hajj payment for pilgrims in 2025. A statement by the spokesperson of the commission, Fatima Sanda Usara, said for the 2025 Hajj, there will be no concessionary exchange rate from the government for Hajj fare payment for pilgrims, whether under state or private Hajj operators. This means that if the Naira maintains its current rate of 1,650 Naira to a dollar, each intending pilgrim will pay almost 10 million Naira for Hajj fare, as pilgrims pay at least $6,000. While NACON is yet to announce the Hajj fare for this 2025 Hajj exercise, State's Pilgrims Welfare Board have begun asking intending pilgrims to pay 8.5 million naira as initial deposit pending the announcement of the Hajj fare. The statement also announced the refund of 64,682 to 150 Saudi Riyal to every Nigerian pilgrim that participated in the 2023 Hajj exercise. You're watching the news hour on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, Nigeria's growing housing deficit, a central theme in commemorating this year's Habitat Day. This and of course more stories when we return. Join us again. Thanks for staying with the news hour on Trust Television. Here's a recap of our headlines again. Boko Haram kills Borno village head, soldiers, civilian task force chair. And 21 feared dead as two boats collide in Lagos. Moving on to other stories now. According to a nationwide survey by Kimpact Development Initiative, 57% of respondents were dissatisfied with the electoral process in the 2023 elections, while 94% emphasized the urgent need for constitutional and legal reforms to improve the system. It is against this backdrop that stakeholders in the electioneering sector are seeking reforms in areas such as INEC leadership selection process, among others, in order to help achieve credible elections in Nigeria. Neil Sampson has more.
According to the stakeholders, the electoral reforms being recommended are focused on several critical aspects, including independence, neutrality, and efficiency of INEC, adjudication of election petitions, and the prosecution of electoral offences, qualifications for contesting elections, strengthening political party ideology, among others.
There's need for a clear definition of the word continuous in Section 10 of the Electoral Act. Section 10 actually spoke about continuous voters registration, but what we've seen today is periodic voters registration, transmitting electoral result from all levels of collation. What we have now is just basically transmitting from the polling unit. We are saying transmit at the ward level, transmit at the LGA level, transmit at the state level.
Electoral reforms are actually crucial for us to be able to get young people interested again in the process, considering the amount of young people we have in Nigeria. I think they are the major demographic of people of individuals in Nigeria. So it is important that young people are part of the electoral process so that they are able to turn out during elections and that their votes count.
Okay, we have the establishment of an electoral offense commission. We have the post-election petition resolutions. We have timely transmission of election results, INEC leadership selection process reform, and interpretation and amendment. I mean, I feel like these things are very key because we just came back from the Edo gubernatorial election, and if only these things had already been implemented, it would have been a smooth process.
Well, challenges of electoral reforms. You could say there are many reforms that different stakeholders over the years have seen as very important that somehow never really made it cross the line, in terms of being passed and enacted into law. So perhaps I would say that's like the major challenge.
Electoral reforms, when fully institutionalized, prohibits the criminalization of politics, stops the misuse of government machinery, discourages money politics, and also enhances trust in the eyes of citizens towards electoral processes. These and many more are some of the reasons stakeholders are pushing for reforms in the nation's electoral space. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Plateau State Police Command said it has deployed over 8,000 personnel to provide security during local government elections in the 17 local government areas of the state. The spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, disclosed this on Tuesday at the command headquarters as officers were being deployed to their respective local government areas. The PPRO assured that officers will arrive at their polling units on time, ready to ensure a smooth electoral process. He added that police are committed to maintaining law and order, guaranteeing the safety of voters and preventing any potential disruptions. DSP Alfred warned individuals planning to cause trouble to desist from doing so, emphasizing the police zero-tolerance policy for electoral violence.
Some of them have reached their destination already, and they are moving to their polling. They are moving to their polling units. A whole lot is going on, as you can see. The men, like I said, they are in high spirit, ready to give Plateau the peace that they deserve during this local government election. The Inspector General of Police have also assisted the command with headquarters assets, which are with us here, and they are going to the part. We also have personnel drawn from other states who are also here with us to ensure that this election is peaceful.
And away from that, the Rivers State Governor, Siminalayi Fubara, has vowed to take decisive action against those responsible for setting ablaze 3 local government secretariats in the state on Monday. He pledged that the incident, unlike previous cases, will not be ignored, as his administration will collaborate with security agencies to identify the perpetrators and hold them accountable. Governor Fubara stated this during the swearing-in ceremony of 4 new commissioners at the executive chambers of the Government House in Port Harcourt. He reminded the audience that he had previously warned the new council chairman of possible attacks and commended his supporters for maintaining calm during the violent confrontations. Expressing regret that the recent political crisis has overshadowed his administration's achievements, the governor announced plans to dedicate a day later this month to highlight these accomplishments. And in commemoration of this year's World Habitat Day, stakeholders are calling for a more inclusive and comprehensive approach to tackle Nigeria's housing deficit, especially with the nation's rapidly growing population. Trust TV's Dorcas Yakubu spoke with estate developers and Nigerians about the challenges young people face in accessing affordable urban housing. Here's a report.
Despite several government initiatives like the National Housing Fund, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, and Family Homes Funds, Nigeria's housing deficit remains at a staggering 22 million units, with many citizens still living in slums and unhealthy environments. As a signatory to Article 25 of the 1948 UN Declaration, which enshrines housing as a basic human right, and with this right reflected in the 1999 Nigerian Constitution, stakeholders are urging the government to declare a state of emergency on housing. This year's World Habitat Day theme, Engaging Youth to Create a Better Urban Future, highlights the critical role young people play in shaping tomorrow's cities. With rapid urbanization, UN Habitat predicts that by 2030, 60% of urban residents will be under 18, especially in Africa and Asia. This makes it crucial to factor youth needs in urban planning. In Nigeria's capital, Abuja, residents express varying views on the housing crisis and its impact on the country's future.
In Nigeria, you see estates that have up to 200 buildings, 300. Out of those numbers, maybe about 5 of them is being habited by human beings. Others are reptiles. And builder doesn't consider that it's money they use in building this.
It's not true, because I that is talking to you now, I have brought a company all the way from abroad to come to Nigeria to handle housing projects, and I know the conditions we are given. When you be given a condition that if after doing the project you won't even make something out of yourself, you will not like to involve yourself on that.
Residents have expressed frustration over the rising cost of living in urban areas and the government's inability to make housing more accessible. In response to these concerns, Trust TV spoke with estate developers to explore potential solutions and gain their insights on the issue.
The governments are not doing enough to cater for shelter for young people in Nigeria, because when you look at the program designed for that, even the Federal Mortgage Bank, just a simple 2-bedroom flats are going for 30 million naira. And when you look at the income of an average person in the country, you see that they are not earning up to close to 5 million naira in a year.
When it comes to mortgage, in Nigeria, a lot of people feel the only people who are advantaged to accessing mortgage are only civil servants, which is not quite correct.
A developer says it's critical for youths to get involved in the conversations and actions that will determine the future of cities.
As a young person, So long as you can earn a decent income, whether as a business owner, whether as an employee in the private sector, or whether as a civil servant, the first thing you begin to think about is, I need to own a house. Not necessarily because you must live in the house, but because when you own a house, most especially riding on the wings of mortgage, which you have the advantage of paying over a long period of time.
In May 2024, no fewer than 86 illegal squatters were evicted from makeshift apartments on the Dolphin Bridge in Ikoyi, where they had been paying 250,000 naira annually for their spaces. World Habitat Day 2024 offers a critical moment to reflect on the transformative impact of urbanization and the role of youth in shaping this change. By empowering young people through participatory processes and leadership opportunities, we can create a more inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous urban future for all. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Oh, there you have it. Also, the Adamawa State Government, through its Investment Promotion and Public-Private Partnership Coordination Unit, recently hosted a sector prioritization meeting aimed at expanding its investment strategies and attracting more investors. This move is part of an initiative driven by an executive order signed by Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri to boost public-private partnerships for the benefit of the state citizens. Gibson Swatigo reports.
The meeting, which brought together participants from various ministries, departments, and agencies, aimed to educate them on the dynamics of public-private partnerships and investment opportunities in Adamawa State. Halilu Malabu, the state project coordinator, highlighted the importance of the sector prioritization meeting in developing a detailed list of all available investment opportunities in the state.
After these, investors will definitely rush in and will attract them. As you can see, the participants are drawn from all over, both the MDS, that is the ministries, departments, and agencies of government, the academia, chamber of commerce, that is private sector, and other investors through the chamber of commerce are here seated. So it's like interactive and to have a homegrown sector prioritization compendium of opportunities.
Dr. Bello Abubakar Song, the focal person for Adamawa State Action on Business Enabling Reforms, highlighted the potential benefits for the state from public-private partnerships, emphasizing the job opportunities it could create for the state's youth.
Part of the success story in encouraging or attracting investors is to have the infrastructure, and His Excellency has that trademark with him. He has been given the Presidential Award for the best governor in infrastructure. So this infrastructure invariably will bring about investors to the state.
Aisha Yakub Bako, a resource person, commended the state's progress in infrastructure and collaboration between various entities.
Every state is moving towards working with the private sector to focus on how it eliminates poverty, but also targets like an accelerated way of economic growth in the states. And doing that can only be successful in growing the GDP of a state with the private sector. So having an agency dedicated to working with the private sector, being the middle ground between the private sector and the government, and bringing those organizations into Adamawa State is groundbreaking.
This interactive session was the first organized by the state's Investment Promotion and Private Partnership Coordination Unit since its establishment by Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintri. Gibson Soadugo, Trust TV News, Yola.
And the Senate has passed for second reading the Investments and Securities Bill 2024. The bill, which aims to replace the outdated Investments and Securities Act of 2007, seeks to promote economic growth and stability, among others. Trust TV's national correspondent brings details of this and more from Tuesday's plenary. Take a look. The bill's sponsor, Senator Okpeyemi Bamidele and Senator Osita Ezenaso, during the lead debate emphasized the vital role of the capital market in driving economic growth.
And enact the Investment and Security Act 2024 and to establish the Securities and Exchange Commission as the apex regulatory authority for Nigerian capital market, as well as regulation of the market to ensure capital formation and protection of investors, maintenance of fair, efficient, and transparent markets.
Others who supported the bill believe it will protect investors by enforcing stricter regulations and enhancing market transparency.
This amendment is very important to ensure that the Securities and Exchange Commission does its job in line with the global best practice.
The most cherished $1 trillion GDP that we are targeting, this is the engine room in achieving that objective.
The capital market, as presently constituted, need to be reorganized because of some fraudulent practices that are happening in the capital market. He has already mentioned insider abuse.
Responding, the Senate President emphasized that the legislation is crucial for strengthening Nigeria's economy. He then committed the bill to the Committee on Capital Market for further legislative action.
One of the things that interests me is what you pointed out here, reduction of systemic risk. Reduction of systemic risk. I think a lot of people will be happy to infuse funds into the capital market when they know that a lot of the risk has been minimized or reduced to the barest minimum.
Meanwhile, a bill seeking to establish a Federal University of Agriculture, Akure, Ondo State, also passed second reading on the floor of the Senate. The bill was sent to the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to report back in 4 weeks.
It is in the best interest of Nigeria that the Federal University of Agriculture, Akure, Ondo State, be established. The Senate is respectfully urged to, in conformity with its established tradition, vote for the second reading of this bill, same having been positively considered by the United Senate.
The renewed whole agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that we should consume what we produce and produce what we consume, particularly in the agricultural sector. And I think this is another step towards that. So I thank you all for supporting this. So I put the question. Those who support that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Also, the Senate has directed the Federal Road Maintenance Agency to, as a matter of urgency, intervene in the rehabilitation of Shua, Jigalambu, and Baladega Bridge affected by flooding in Adamawa North. Senator Amos Yohana, representing Adamawa North in his lead debate, stated that the flooding caused catastrophic destruction in 5 local government areas, leaving thousands stranded.
Aware that the flooding situation has overwhelmed local capacities and left thousands of people in dire need of urgent humanitarian assistance in Krichinga, Shua, Gulag, Zuragu, and other areas of Michika local government.
Your Excellency, NEMA and the response agencies need to do more because practically there is no presence of NEMA in my constituency. And I believe the senator that brought this motion to has made it clear.
So it's important that the country comes out with a Marshall Plan to cater for this yearly flooding.
The Senate further called on the National Emergency Management Agency to provide relief materials to those affected and mandated its Committee on Legislative Compliance. You're still watching the news hour on Trust Television. More news when we return. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is the news hour on Trust Television. And now to business news, where we have Yusuf Akogu waiting for updates.
Time for some business stories. The Nigerian National Communications Commission, NCC, say it will sanction Starlink over a tariff hike. Starlink increased its monthly subscription fee from 38,000 to 75,000 naira. It also said new users will get a high cost for the kit, which was previously priced at 440,000 naira but will now go for 590,000 naira. He said the hikes affect new and existing customers. But the NCC's Director of Public Affairs, Ruben Moka, said the decision by Starlink to unilaterally review its subscription packages upward did not receive the approval of the Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC. According to the NCC, Starlink jumped the gun by announcing price charges. The Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Technology has stated its readiness to partner with the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission on infrastructure development. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, made this known on Monday in Abuja. The minister, while stating that public-private partnership is the best alternative for Nigeria's infrastructure development, promised to set up a task force to drive the collaboration with fixed timeline to ensure quick delivery. A statement by the ministry spokesperson, Odutai Oluseyi, urged ICRC to follow all legal processes in their quest for public-private partnership. The Director General of ICRC, Jobson Ewalefo, said the essence of the meeting was to solicit the ministry to collaborate with ICRC to build major infrastructure across the country. NGX closed Tuesday trading in red due to profit taking across trading tables. Let's see how it went down today. Leading the losers today is Guinness Nigeria PLC. The biggest loss there, 10% to close at 61 naira and 20 kobo per share. The Afri Prudential also down 9.86% to close at 9 naira and 60 kobo per share. Of course, Dacom also down 9.21% to close at 69 kobo per share. There, of course, this has dragged down the market downward by 0.12%. Volume of trade 719.1 million shares, value at 8.3 billion naira. The days of 9,435 did the exchange hands among investors this Tuesday. Of course, the top trading equities by volume: Wapik Insurance Company leader table 402.26 million shares traded. Fidelity Bank 49.924 million shares. Of course, Access Corporation 25.43 million shares traded today. Of course, some equities also recorded gains. Leading the gainers today is Regalis. Regalis gained 10% to close at 55 kobo per share. PZ also gained 8.78% to close at 19 naira and 20 kobo per share. Of course, Scottish also gained 5.60% to close at 2 naira and 64 kobo per share. And that's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Tuesday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Rally in oil prices took a break on Tuesday as the market wait for Israel's response to last week's Iranian rocket attacks that triggered a price surge on concerns of a broader conflict in the Middle East. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $79 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, dealers offer $77 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogun.
Thanks to Yusuf for the business news. And away from Nigeria. In recent days, rumors have spread across media and social networks about the health of President Paul Biya. The Cameroonian government, in a statement, strongly condemned certain television channels they claimed for amplifying these baseless and speculative claims, which they say have no connection to reality. The government firmly dismisses these rumors as pure fiction, the statement added. President Biya remains fully engaged in national affairs no matter where he is. The public and international partners are urged to not to fall for these disinformation and destabilization tactics being pushed by individuals which they claim have hidden agendas. Contrary to reports claiming the president's ill health in Switzerland, these rumors are entirely unfounded, it added. Time now to join Adeniyi Ajishafe for the latest in sports.
The League Management Committee of Nigeria Volleyball Federation has made public the fixtures for 2024 National Division 1 and 2 Volleyball League Final Phase scheduled for 10 to 20 October at Umuahia Township Stadium, Umuahia, Abia State. Former National Division 2 champion Lifecamp Volleyball Club will take on Sword Volleyball Club in the first match of Division 1. League toppers Nav Rockets tackles G Ranks. Oluwole Spikers battle USM of Enugu, while former Premier League team Katsina United face struggling Safety Spikers. Defense Spikers begin their title chase against Caliphate Spikers in the first match of the National Division 2 League as newcomers. Bayelsa United takes on Delta State. Second place Wiki Spikers engage Jewel Spikers of Gombe as Osun Spikers face Ajashekpo Volleyball Club. Technical Director of Nigerian Volleyball Federation Martin Elande said that a technical committee of coaches, referees, club owners, as well as representative of the League Management Committee will be held in October 11. And in handball, the Handball Federation of Nigeria HFN has announced that the second phase of the Adova Handball Premier League 2024 will hold from the 26th of November to the 9th of December 2024 in Lagos. The arrival date for the top tier handball league is 26 November, while matches commence its next day, 27th, according to Secretary General of HFN, Umar Lambue. Announcement to the clubs on Saturday. Lambu advised that the 22 participating teams should begin player registration in earnest before the commencement of the second phase of the league. The Adova Handball Premier League is top tier handball league in Nigeria, which comprises of 22 teams, 12 male and 10 female. The league is in two phases, with the first held in May 2024 in Benin City, Edo State. Tujemarine Academy of Lagos are the current leaders after finishing the first phase with 33 points, with Rima Strikers of Sokoto in second and defending champion Niger United in third position in the male category. In the female category, defending champion Safety Babes is leading the pack with 27 points, 3 points ahead of defender Babes in second position. Safety Babes will make history as the first team to win the league in an unprecedented four-time if they win, as Tugemarine Academy are determined to win the league for the first time. That's Sport News. I'm Adeniyi Ajishafe.
And with that, we wrap up the news hour on Trust Television. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social platforms and also catch our live stream on YouTube for more news programs and also documentaries. My name is Sagir Ibrahim, and on behalf of the crew, have a good night.